Well, hi, BookTube. Bill Ruttenberg here with the Ruttenberg Library. Got my assistant Crimson here, and we're going to do a book tag for you. We're going to do the favorite characters tag. Now, I saw this originally on The Joy of Reading, and I also saw it on Rainier Books. The original was done by Leo at A Little Book Life, and we kind of liked this tag. It was a good one, and so we wanted to do this one together. So here we go. So again, this is the favorite characters tag. So question number 1, a character that you love fiercely.
I chose Frankie Presto from the book The Magic Strings of Frankie Presto.
Why do you like him?
I like him because it kind of just goes through his whole life and how he first discovers music and kind of how it helped him throughout life, and it's just a really good book. So, yeah.
All right. Well, of course, I read a lot of nonfiction, so I had to go with a nonfiction character first. Abraham Lincoln. I absolutely love reading about Lincoln. I love everything about him. He's a hero of mine, and so I chose him. But for fiction, I chose from Dan Brown's books, Robert Langdon. I like his character. He's smart. He's got good character. He's always trying to do what's right and always look. He's always right ahead of the danger in the books. And I always think he's kind of a fun character. And then I was even thinking about a movie character. And of course, my favorite movie character of all time is Rocky Balboa. And he's the guy that you just love to get behind him as he's fighting to victory. But he's the come from behind kid, I guess. I don't know how to say it, but I always like watching those movies, and when he's the end fight scene in the boxing ring, and it always makes the hair on my arm stand up. So he's my favorite character for movies. So question number 2, a character that is heavily flawed, but you cannot help but love.
I chose The Phantom of the Opera because not only is there like a musical, but there's also the book, and I read that a while ago. I obviously really love the musical and his character in general, but he is very heavily flawed, has an unhealthy obsession, and
Yeah, you could say that.
Is a murderer, but I still really like his character.
Character I chose was from the North and South series by John Jakes, and I chose Virgilia Hazard. She was the abolitionist sister of one of the main characters, and abolitionist part was not the flawed character. That was a good part of her, but she's always following her heart, and so you gotta love that side of her. But at the same time, she leaves no room for maybe looking at the flaws in other people and trying to get along with people. She rubs people the wrong way, and that's her huge flaw. And in the book and in the TV series as well, you want to love her because of her abolitionist heart, and just doing what's right. But at the same time, there's that part that she just rubs you the wrong way and makes you mad. And just like she made Ori Main mad in the book, they just could not get along. And for obvious reasons, but she's my heavily flawed character that you can't help but love. So number 3, a character that made you laugh out loud.
So I didn't know we could do movies on this because
I cheated.
He cheated. So if I would have known, I would have chosen some movie characters. But book character-wise, I chose Dill Harris and Jean Finch on To Kill a Mockingbird because they're just their way of thinking, because it's from their point of view when they're children. So it's funny, and they're kind of sarcastic, and I thought it was funny and cute.
Okay, so my character that made me laugh out loud, so I got to tell the little backstory of it. It was one of my first years teaching middle school, and I feel terrible, we were doing some testing, and I was waiting on the kids to get done, because we kind of wander through the room, and we we monitor the kids, make sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to, and they're getting everything done. And then there's just a lot of downtime in between all of that, and so I was kind of reading a book at the same time. And one of the other teachers let me borrow Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and I had never read that before. I'd never heard of it, and so I was reading that book, and that made me laugh out loud. It got to the part where, what's the main character's name? Greg Heffley. Greg Heffley. And it got to the part about the cheese touch. And it just, I got to giggling, and almost snorted. And
Kids were
the kids were testing, and I had to catch myself, and I was like, oh no. It was funny, and then the movie was funny too. I liked the movie. It was a cute movie.
The books are good. The movies are good.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I went with also a TV character that I think Crimson would agree with me. He's a family favorite, Dwight Schrute from The Office. He is quite the character. He's always getting into it with Jim Halpert. And they always have a nice little back and forth between the two characters, and they make me laugh out loud. Now I know my wife is not a laugh out loud person. I'm a laugh out loud, and we'll be sitting there on the couch watching the show, and I get to roaring, laughing, and she just kind of shakes her head at me, and you might get a out of her, but nothing else. She's laughing on the inside, but not on the outside, and I'm a kind of an outward laugher.
LOL.
Yeah. And then my other character from a movie's Tommy Boy. We watched that when I was a kid, and holy shnikes, that was a funny movie. But anyway, number 4, a child character that you like.
I chose Piggy from The Lord of the Flies.
You want to explain that one?
He kind of in the book represented like science and reason. What's the word for that? Reasonability. Reasoning. I don't know. Smartness and yeah, he was humane out of the rest of them. So
yeah, she just got done reading that in her high school senior
British literature.
Brit Lit. They just got done reading that, and I was kind of bummed out because I wanted to kind of read it with her, and I didn't realize they were reading it, and then it was already too late. I don't know that I'd have had enough time with everything that was going on at school anyway, but
I really liked the book.
Yeah, I liked it when I read it too. I chose Theodore Boone from John Grisham's Kid Lawyer books. I always like him. He's kind of a lovable character. He's always trying to help everybody out. He's always trying to solve the mystery and be everybody's lawyer, and he's just a little like middle school age kid, and it's a cute little story, cute little series that Grisham put together for middle school kids, and so I like him. So number 5, an animal character that you love.
I chose the Nightingale.
Okay.
Yeah.
From?
Hans Christian Andersen books of like fairy tales and stuff.
All right.
And it's just called The Nightingale. And yeah, it's a good story.
Okay. I chose from one of our favorite TV series, Eddie, the little dog from Frasier. He is a, I don't know, what is he, is he a terrier?
Maybe.
Anyway, he's a funny little dog, and he always makes me laugh on that show. But from a book, I chose Enzo from The Art of Racing in the Rain. Enzo's a really sweet dog. He wants to be human. He thinks that the cycle of life, that when he dies, he will come back as a human, and he is trying as to learn as much as he can about being human, and so he watches a lot of TV. His owner's a race car driver, and so he learns about that, and then he learns about just stuff in the like family dynamics when his owner gets married, and then they have a kid, and so he learns all of this stuff, and of course towards the end of the movie he comes back, or the book and the movie, because it's both, but he comes back as a little kid, and it's a kind of a tearjerker almost, and but I like Enzo. He's a good dog. Number 6, a strong woman character that you like.
I chose Hazel from The Darkest Part of the Forest, which is just a fantasy book, but like set in modern times, and it was really cool. And she was just very brave. Her and her brother would, when they were younger, would play together, and she would always want to be the knight, and she would want to be the one that was saving her little brother. And then growing up, it goes on into that, and how she just plays a really strong female role in the book.
I got 2 of them actually. I read earlier this year The Glass Castle, and I'm trying. I didn't put this in my notes. It just popped in my head. Yeah, that was an excellent one. And the main character in that, she talks about her childhood, and I just think she's, I don't know, she's a strong woman, and very, very. I look up to her because she had a terrible childhood, and it kind of hits home with me a little bit, and so I just admire her for her being able to
came out of
to come out of that, and to
she
do
became
well.
like a successful publisher.
Or journalist, or publisher, or writer of some sort. I can't even remember. That was a few months ago when I read that. But she was one. And then I had to go with a TV/book series. It's both. Kate Beckett from the series Castle, and it's a cop show, and a series of books based on the TV show. And she's just a tough chick, and she sticks it to the guys typically, and she's just a fun character. And then of course her sidekick Richard Castles just makes me laugh, and I like how she always kind of keeps him at a distance and stiff arms his advances and all of that, and their back and forth relationship's funny to me, and so I like her character. I think she's a pretty strong woman in that show, in that book. So number 7, a brave character that you admire.
Katniss Everdeen from
man.
The Hunger Games, for obvious reasons. Yeah, I don't know what more I can say about that.
My favorite scene in that is when she was going in to get practice for the games or whatever, and the head of the games was up there with
and she shoots the apple.
She shoots the apple out of the pig's mouth, and it goes right by the head of the games.
Game maker's head.
Yeah.
Just kind of stuns them.
I liked that.
Yeah.
I chose a book by Sarah Miller, Caroline, Little House Revisited, and it's Little House on the Prairie from the mom's point of view. And I thought, not just the mom, but that whole family, any pioneer family for that matter, was that there was so much to be said about how brave you were going out into the unknown and starting completely from scratch, and in a lot of cases, there's no small towns that are like close by. You're just starting out on the prairie by yourself. I think there's a lot of bravery in that, and I admire that being able to take care of yourself. What's the word for that? Being self-reliant, independent.
Yeah.
Moving forward. A character that scares the heck out of you.
I went with, so there's a book series I read in middle school, and it was called Samurai Girl. And I went with Kanoshi Kogo and Miko Kogo. I'm probably not pronouncing these right. But they were the parents of this main character. And they were very controlling. And you find out towards the end of the series they're just very evil. And I would not want them as my parents, and they were just scary.
Mm-hmm.
I just no. Yeah.
Well, I went with the book It, and I'm not saying that clowns scare me necessarily. It's not clowns. It's just the evil in that book. I remember when I was reading that, and there's a part in there where he's hearing the voices and stuff, and he looks down the drain, and the evil there, it made the hair on my arms stand up, and it just freaked me out. And just those voices and everything and stuff like that sticks with me.
Sometimes, our family doesn't do like scary stuff in general, though. We don't like
watching scary stuff, so
we
get scared easy, I guess.
Just psych me out, yeah.
Yeah, my wife and I, when we first got married, we watched several of those 1970s slasher films and stuff, and we thought that was kind of cool, and it was cool until my wife is watching them, and I tell her we got to turn the lights on when we watch it. It was cool until that point. Oh man. Anyway, I don't like the evil stuff. It bothers me. I just don't like it. Anyway, number 9, a really mean character.
I went with I haven't read the book, but I've seen the movie The Talented Mr. Ripley, and he's kind of evil. Yep. I don't know what more to say about that. I mean, he just grows an obsession over being wealthy and having a life, and uses murder and just wrongdoings in order to achieve it, and it's just wrong. And so he was a main character.
I went with, again, the North and South series by John Jakes, and I chose Ori Main's little sister, Ashton Main. She was a evil, conniving, jealous, self-serving, just vindictive. I mean, there's so many words I could throw out. She just makes me angry in how she treats her other little other sister, and I can't think of her name off the top of my head. But the other sister's kind of the good sister, and Ashton is the bad sister, and she's just super mean. Does a lot of things it just makes you shake your head. And so anyway, number 10, last one on the list here. A character that you really hate.
I chose the father of Jace Witherspoon in the book Split, and he was just, the character never really shows him, but the main character talks about his father a lot, and he was just very, very abusive and a horrible, horrible person. So you just learn to hate him, even though he never shows up in the book. It's just from that person's perspective, and yeah, learn to hate him.
Well, I'll go with my movie choice first. If you guys remember the movie The Patriot, William Tavington, played by Jason Isaacs, he's the one that kills Benjamin Martin's son at the very beginning of the movie. They're playing him off of an actual British character, but or actually kind of a combo of a couple, but mainly one character from real life. But you watch it, and the dude's just evil, and I just hate him. I want to reach through the TV screen and punch him. He kills this innocent boy. He burns a church full of people that were not loyal to the crown, and he just burns them. He does all kinds of stuff like that, and he'll do anything to get ahead, and you just want to punch him. You want to, yeah. And then from the book, I chose John Jakes Charleston, and I read this earlier this year, the character Lydia Bell, and she is another one of those self-serving, work to get ahead type characters, will do anything, and she was willing to do some pretty awful stuff to get what she wanted. So when the treacherous, opportunistic Lydia visits Edward, and Edward's one of the main characters, to confirm the news, she proposes an arrangement. Yes, I made a decision to marry your brother, but it's you that I love. You can have the pleasure without the cost. After I marry Adrian, there's no reason you and I can't enjoy an arrangement. That character makes me so mad, and I hate that. Be loyal. Be loyal to your spouse. Anyway, that caused a little hatred for me as I was reading that book, but she got hers in the end. She ended up, yeah, her life did not end up good.
Okay.
We'll just keep it at that. But anyway, and then she ends up here's the other thing that really makes me hate her, is that when Edward turns her down, she kills him. She pushes him into the river, and there's, I want to say there was gators, if I remember right. There was gators down in the river, and yeah, not good. So anyway, this has been our the favorite characters tag. Crimson and Bill Ruttenberg from the Ruttenberg Library. We hope you've enjoyed watching this, and thank you for watching, and happy reading, BookTube.